Hi everyone, my name is Gautam Gupta and I want to welcome you all to my YouTube channel, Universal Fundamentals. In this video, I'm going to continue my series on the 2025 Vedic Astrology yearly predictions for all of the 12 ascendants and moon signs and how these planetary transits will be affecting you based on your ascendant and or moon sign. In this video, I will exclusively be talking about Sagittarius ascendants and moon signs. Now, 2025 is going to be a monumental year because all of the slower moving planets will be changing signs at some point in 2025. And this is going to bring huge changes to everyone's life depending on what your ascendant and moon sign are. And when I talk about the slower moving planets, I am talking about the nodes Rahu and Ketu, Jupiter, as well as Saturn. All of these planets will be changing signs in the coming year 2025. And in fact, Jupiter will travel through all three signs as it will be moving pretty quickly in 2025. Now, before I begin this discussion in detail, I do want to remind everyone to please check out my website, universal-fundamentals.com, where you can learn more about me and what I do as a Vedic astrologer. You can also check out the various services that I offer, and I will be leaving links down below so you all can check that out in more detail. I also want to remind everyone that I do practice sidereal Vedic astrology and not Western tropical astrology. Also, if you find this video to be helpful and useful, then please give it a thumbs up by hitting the like button and subscribing to my channel. Doing so will really help me out with the YouTube algorithm so this video can reach a vast audience. So with that being said, I will now begin discussing how all of these planetary transits will affect a Sagittarius ascendant and or moon sign for the year 2025. So the first important transit I want to start discussing for a Sagittarius ascendant and or moon sign is that transiting Saturn will continue to remain in your third house of Aquarius until March 29th, 2025. And this tells me that your relationships with your younger siblings and or neighbors will continue to remain cordial and quite respectful. There will continue to be mutual respect, which will foster a strong connection. You will also start finding success in any short stories, articles, and or social media projects that you've been working on. Now, with Saturn's third aspect to your fifth house, this does tell me that you will continue to put in a lot of effort when it comes to maintaining your relationships with your children. However, I do think your hard work and efforts are going to pay off this time, and Saturn is leaving the sign of Aquarius soon. And with Saturn's seventh aspect to your ninth house, this tells me that you will continue to focus on maintaining good relationships with your father and teachers. Though it may take effort at times, rest assured that the hard work you put in will pay off. And you will also find success and resolution with your higher education courses and spiritual development. And finally, with Saturn's 10th aspect to your 12th house, this tells me that there will be some karmic obligations related to some expenses, foreign traveling, spiritual development, as well as any past or sleep issues. You will be working hard to resolve these areas, and this will feel liberating at the end. Now, normally Saturn's 10th aspect to the 12th house does indicate some challenges and difficulties. However, because transiting Jupiter in Taurus is also aspecting the 12th house, this is creating a point of manifestation. So therefore, you will continue to have opportunities to flourish in your 12th house matters when it comes to your spiritual development, foreign travels, as well as past and sleep issues. This point of manifestation in your 7th house of Scorpio will continue until March 29th of 2025, which is when Saturn transits into the sign of Pisces. Now, the next important transit I want to discuss for a Sagittarius ascendant and or moon sign is that transiting Jupiter will continue to remain in your sixth house of Taurus until May 14th of 2025. And a very important event that is occurring on February 4th, 2025, is that transiting Jupiter will be turning direct 17 degrees of Taurus. So if you happen to have a planet that is around 14 to 20 degrees Taurus, Virgo, Scorpio, and or Capricorn, then you're going to have many blessings and opportunities forming due to anything you may have worked on during the first 2 weeks of July 2024. I think your health matters and the dynamics between either your coworkers and or employees will be much better and conducive for your overall growth. This will be incredible for things related to your 10th house matters, such as your career, reputation, and social standing. This will also be beneficial for your 12th house matters, such as your spiritual development, resolving past issues, having better sleep, and having opportunities to travel internationally. This will also be great for your second house matters when it comes to your financial situation and family matters. I do see things significantly improving in this area. Now, another important transit I want to mention is that transiting Venus will be exalted in your fourth house of Pisces from January 27th of 2025 until May 30th of 2025. And while it is in the sign of Pisces, it will be forming a mutual exchange with transiting Jupiter, which is in your sixth house of Taurus, up until May 14th of 2025. Now, the reason why I want to talk about Venus being in Pisces is because this is going to be a special transit. Venus normally stays in one sign for about a month, but this time it will be staying in the sign of Pisces for about 4 months, which is due to the fact that transiting Venus will be turning retrograde from March 2nd of 2025 until April 14th of 2025. And while Venus remains direct in your fourth house, this will actually cause some temporary conflicts between your mother, real estate issues, domestic life, vehicles, coworkers, and or employees. And this is because the exchange between the fourth lord and the sixth lord isn't usually the best energy. So you do have to be careful in navigating these dynamics. Try not to make any major decisions regarding your home, mother, or the dynamics between you, your coworkers, and or employees. Now, one thing you have to be aware of is that Venus will turn retrograde from March 2nd of 2025 until April 14th of 2025. And this will be a transit where you have to exercise caution and care. You will have to be extremely careful with your interactions with your mother, coworkers, and or employees. Any conflicts that you try to initiate will escalate and end up backfiring on you. So it is important to be careful with your interactions. Compromise will be the key to making the most out of this transit. Now, while Venus is going to be in your fourth house of Pisces, it is going to be conjunct with Rahu in your fourth house, and Ketu is going to be in your 10th house of Virgo until May 29th of 2025. And this transit is going to prompt you to continue to really focus and dedicate your attention towards your domestic life, home, real estate, vehicles, and issues related to your mother. There will continue to be a lot of demand throughout this transit, and your tact and intelligence will be required to navigate these challenges. Now, an extremely important part about this transit is that starting March 29th of 2025, transiting Saturn will also join Rahu in your fourth house of Pisces. And this is going to really change things to a completely different level. And with this conjunction, please try to avoid making any major decisions regarding your real estate or vehicle matters. There could be some setbacks and delays during these 2 months while Rahu and Saturn are in your fourth house. And this is because Rahu and Saturn are enemies to each other. Rahu is a planet that wants the gains now, and Saturn is a planet that restricts and delays. So it is important to exercise patience and not make any decisions out of haste because you may regret it later. And with Ketu in your 10th house and Jupiter casting its fifth aspect to your 10th house, this tells me that you will continue to take a spiritual approach when it comes to navigating your career. And I do think you will achieve a certain level of satisfaction throughout this transit. Now, with Saturn's third aspect to your sixth house, this tells me that you will be putting in a lot of extra effort to maintain cordial relationships with your coworkers and or employees. You will also be putting in a lot of due diligence to maintain good health. You will have to work hard throughout this aspect, but in the end, the results will be worth it. But while Jupiter is in the sixth house until May 14th, 2025, I do see a certain amount of protection and growth when it comes to your health and the dynamics between your coworkers and or employees. And this will be due to the fact that Saturn's third aspect to your sixth house and Jupiter transiting the sixth house of Taurus until May 14th of 2025 is providing a point of manifestation. So I do think just for that time frame, you will be protected in these areas. However, once Jupiter leaves the sign of Taurus, then you will have to be extremely careful when it comes to your sixth house matters of your health, coworkers, and or employees. Then, with Saturn's seventh aspect to your 10th house, this tells me that career matters will become an area that you have to pay more attention to. You will be putting in long hours, but this will be key if you want to obtain success. Now, the good news is that up until May 14th of 2025, Jupiter will also cast its fifth aspect to your 10th house, so you will have a good amount of protection and stability when it comes to your career, reputation, and social standing. However, once transiting Jupiter leaves the sign of Taurus after May 14th of 2025, you will have to be extra careful when it comes to these matters. And finally, with Saturn's 10th aspect to your first house, this tells me that there could be some karmic obligations that you may have towards your health and self-development. This will be a time where you have to manage your stress levels and make sure you are properly taking care of yourself. Although you may have a lot of responsibilities at this time management and self-care will be critical to making things work. Now, the good news is that after May 14th, 2025, transiting Jupiter will enter the sign of Gemini, which is in your seventh house, and it will cast its seventh aspect to your first house of Sagittarius, and this will create a point of manifestation. So while transiting Jupiter is in the sign of Gemini, this will actually give you the opportunities to properly take care of yourself and feel empowered and confident. Now, one thing I do want to mention about this Saturn transit in Pisces is that Rahu and Saturn, the conjunction in the sign of Pisces, will last from March 29th of 2025 until May 29th of 2025. And after May 29th of 2025, transiting Saturn will remain in the sign of Pisces up until June 2nd of 2027. And then it will return back to the sign of Pisces from October 20th of 2027, and it will stay in the sign of Pisces until February 22nd, 2028. Now, the next important transit I want to talk about is that transiting Jupiter will enter your seventh house of Gemini on May 15th of 2025, and it will go through the entire sign of Gemini throughout the next 5 months. So after October 18th of 2025, transiting Jupiter will briefly enter your eighth house of Cancer, but it will return back into the sign of Gemini on December 5th, 2025, and it will remain in your seventh house of Gemini until June 1st, 2026. And while Jupiter is in your seventh house of Gemini, this is going to open up many opportunities for connecting with business partners and or a significant other. If you are single or looking to start a new business with someone, then this transit will provide you several opportunities to meet people and start moving forward in a new direction. For those of you who are already engaged in a business or special relationship, then I see things moving forward in a very positive and dynamic way. You guys are going to have an amazing connection that's filled with mutual understanding and respect, and this will allow you to accomplish a lot of your mutual goals. These areas in your life are going to move forward very quickly since Jupiter will transit the entire sign within 5 months. And this will allow you to really get things done regarding your seventh house areas. Now, with Jupiter's fifth aspect to your 11th house, this tells you that you're going to have several opportunities to meet and connect with new people. So make sure you attend as many social events as possible, as you can really meet a lot of influential people who have your best interests. This is also a great transit to make new friends and connect with existing friends as well. You will also have a great relationship with your older siblings as well. Then, with Jupiter's seventh aspect to your first house, this tells me that you are going to be feeling extremely confident about yourself and your abilities. This will be an excellent transit to work on your self-development, and health matters are definitely going to be in your favor. And finally, with Jupiter's ninth aspect to your third house, this tells me that you will have several opportunities to connect with your younger siblings and or neighbors. You will be getting along quite nicely with each other, and this will help develop a strong understanding with each other. This is also a great opportunity to work on any short stories, articles, or social media projects, as your knowledge and information will be well received by others. This is also a great opportunity for some short distance travel. I do think you will really enjoy your time. Now, the next important transit I will be discussing for a Sagittarius ascendant and or moon sign is that transiting Rahu will be going into your third house of Aquarius, and transiting Ketu will be going into your ninth house of Leo starting on May 29th of 2025. And it is going to remain in these signs until November 24th of 2026. Now, with transiting Ketu into your ninth house of Leo, this tells me that you may be feeling a sense of disconnect when it comes to your father and teachers. And you may have a deeper quest to understand spirituality and truth. So I do think you may engage in new philosophical topics where you will try to find answers for your own personal growth. This is a transit where your father might need more of your attention, so it is important to account for these situations. Now, with Ketu's fifth aspect to your first house, this tells me that you will take a much more spiritual approach when it comes to your self-development and health. And this will help cultivate a deeper understanding with who you truly are, especially since Jupiter in Gemini is aspecting your first house as well until October 18th, 2025. Now, with Ketu's ninth aspect to your fifth house, this tells me that you may be feeling a sense of disconnect when it comes to your children. Something about them might feel off. It's quite possible that they might need more space and room to grow, and their distance might make you feel uncomfortable. But it is important to allow your children to make independent decisions so that they can learn and grow. This is also a transit where I would advise you to exercise caution when it comes to your speculative investments. Try not to make any aggressive moves or take unnecessary risks at this time. Then, with transiting Rahu into your third house, this tells me that connecting and dealing with issues related to your younger siblings and or neighbors will become an important focus point for you. There could be instances or situations where they will need your attention and your influence can have an impact on them. This is also a favorable transit for improving your communication skills and working on any social media projects as well as any short stories and or articles. And another important aspect about this transit is that while Jupiter is transiting through your seventh house of Gemini, transiting Rahu in your third house will be casting its fifth aspect to transiting Jupiter in your seventh house. And in return, transiting Jupiter will cast its ninth aspect to your third house of Aquarius, forming a mutual aspect. And they will both be aspecting your 11th house of great gains, older siblings, friends, and your social network circles. This means that there are going to be lots of opportunities for growth and expansion in this area. You may be meeting a lot of influential people that can really help elevate your life and social standing to a whole new level. This is also great for forming a strong and powerful connection with friends and or older siblings. So keep all of this in mind as you navigate this transit. Now, the final transit I want to discuss for a Sagittarius ascendant and or moon sign is that transiting Jupiter will briefly enter your eighth house of Cancer from October 18th of 2025 until December 5th of 2025. And it will turn retrograde on November 11th of 2025 at just under 1 degree of Cancer. So while Jupiter is transiting your eighth house during this short window of time, this is going to actually give you a preview as to what to expect when transiting Jupiter officially enters your eighth house of Cancer again later in 2026. So I want you to really pay attention to the events that do happen over the course of these 6 weeks because you will end up receiving the blessings and opportunities of these events in the summer of 2026 when Jupiter officially enters the sign of Cancer. So when Jupiter enters your eighth house of Cancer for these 6 weeks, you may be thinking about connecting with your in-laws or be thinking about ways to increase your joint assets if you are married. This is also a great opportunity to start thinking about the types of occult or metaphysical sciences you want to study so that you can gain a lot of knowledge. Then once Jupiter enters the sign of Cancer in the summer of 2026, you will be able to successfully execute these plans. This is also a great transit for acquiring unearned wealth, such as an inheritance or settlement. Now, with Jupiter's fifth aspect to your 12th house, this will give you a preview of the opportunities you may have to travel internationally. You may be thinking about exploring different countries and cultures, and this transit will give you an opportunity to think about your interests and desires. And once Jupiter re enters the sign of Cancer during the summer of 2026, you will be able to really enjoy your experiences. This will also allow you to grow spiritually, as you will be able to understand different cultures and points of view. This is also a great opportunity to resolve any past issues as well. Then, with Jupiter's seventh aspect to your second house, this will give you a preview of the types of interactions you will be forming with your family members. And I do think this will allow you to form deeper connections and understanding with one another once Jupiter re enters the sign of Cancer in 2026. And finally, with Jupiter's ninth aspect to your fourth house, this will give you a preview of the types of interactions and connections you will be having with your mother. And this will be a very healing and pleasing experience for you. Some of you may consider moving or changing residence at this time, and the 6 week window of time will give you an opportunity to look at new places. So this is what I wanted to cover regarding what's going to happen for a Sagittarius ascendant and or moon sign for the year 2025. I hope you guys got something out of this. Once again, if you found this video to be useful, please give it a thumbs up by hitting the like button. Doing so will really help me out with the YouTube algorithm so this video can reach a vast audience. Also, if you're new to my channel and would like to see similar videos like this in the future, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on that bell notification. And if you would like to know more about me and what I do as a Vedic astrologer, then please check out my website, universal-fundamentals.com. Thank you so much, everybody, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care.